Navy force is very important for national security. This is the reason that many countries have been competing to have better and more powerful technology in their Navy forces. In almost all warfare, Navy has been the key to the victory and one of the effective ways to block enemy countries' import and export so as to make enemies starve for the period of the war. Naval battles of American Civil War was the main stage for many naval strategies, and it was actually the question of Navy. On April 12, 1861, the first battle of American Civil War took place in Fort Sumter, which was meant for a coastal fortification and to protect Charleston Harbor. It was bombardment of the fort, and in some aspects, it was kind of naval battle. Aftermath of Battle of Fort Sumter, the Federals decided to blockade all the forts belonging to the South. It was part of Anaconda plan to blockade the Confederacy from trading with European countries and to cut the South into two. In response to the new strategy of the Union blockade of the Confederacy, the South has set up several batteries on the shore to block Union military and commercial vessels from moving into Chesapeake Bay and along the Potomac River. Battle of Aquia Creek occurred down Potomac River in Virginia and showed first use of new technology in naval battle. On 29th of May, 1861, a converted 250-ton paddle wheel steamer mounting 3 guns, the USS Thomas Freeborn of the Federal Potomac Flotilla, under the command of Commander James Harmon Ward, attacked the Confederate batteries at Aquia to little effect. The Confederacy used torpedoes for the first time during American Civil War. At that time, their torpedoes were not the self-propelled missiles today, but more like mines. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. According to one of the sailors in the USS Resolute, down the Potomac River, USS Resolute took notice of 2 large casks floating down the river and sent out a smaller boat to get them. The captain of the ship handled them carefully because he thought they might be filled with an explosive. The evident intention of the design of the machine was to drop it down with the tide and at a suitable distance to set fire to matches, and when it had swung across the cable with one of the machines close under each bow, to explode in due time and to destroy the ship, wrote Commander Rowan. A flag officer and admiral in the United States Navy, David Glasgow Farragut, said in Battle of Mobile Bay, "Damn the torpedoes! Full speed ahead!" Both the Confederacy and the Union converted many commercial ships into warships during American Civil War. For example, USS Louisiana was a very successful propeller-driven iron-hull steamer. It was a merchant ship and it became a warship and armed with 16 24-pound guns. Its first engagement was the Battle of Cocoa Creek on October 5, 1861. It completely saved the lives of Chicontag, who were faithful of the Union, and captured the CSS Venus. The real initial step towards victory of the American Civil War seems to be taken by this battle. Battle of Port Royal. Port Royal Sound was located in South Carolina and guarded by 2 forts which were Fort Walker and Fort Beauregard. It was difficult for the Union to break through the enemy forts. Nonetheless, the brilliant flag officer Samuel Francis DuPont found the proper tactic which was used in Battle of Hatteras Inlet. On 7th of November, the fight started at 9:26 a.m. when a gun in Fort Walker fired on the approaching fleet. Fleet of Samuel Francis DuPont conducted his order by bombarding both forts so that one cannot help the other. After the fall of Fort Walker, the commander of Fort Beauregard ordered his troops to abandon the fort because he was afraid of that his fort could be like Fort Walker. Compared to the number of fire from both sides, the number of casualties was low. For Union, the number of casualties was 31, and for the Confederacy, it was 63. Aftermath of the battle, DuPont retained command of the South Atlantic Blockading Squadron and directed continuing naval operations against the coast, including Charleston, Savannah, and Fernandina, Florida. To that end, he set up extensive works at Port Royal Sound for maintaining the fleet, including coaling, provisioning, and repair facilities. From 8th to 9th of March 1862, the most advanced ships met in Hampton Roads in a roadstead in Virginia, where the Elizabeth and Nansemond rivers meet in the James River just before it enters Chesapeake Bay. This battle is called Battle of Hampton Roads, but also it is called Battle of Monitor and Merrimack. It was a part of the effort of the Confederacy to break the Union blockade, which had cut off Virginia's largest cities, Norfolk and Richmond, from international trade. On 8th of March, ironclad ram CSF Virginia and several supporting vessels attacked two ships of Federal and sank one of them, USS Cumberland, successfully. Furthermore, they tried to destroy USS Minnesota, but due to the tide, they had to return. On 9th of March, ships of Confederate, including ironclad ram CSS Virginia, went out again to destroy USS Minnesota. However, this time, two Union ironclad monitors intercepted them. Ironclads of both sides were slightly damaged and showed the prominent technology of both sides. Hence, this battle changed the attitude of France and Great Britain for constructing ships. They turned from building wooden-hulled ships to building ironclads. The battle between ironclads continued around 3 hours and ended as CSS ships retreated first to repair. CSS Virginia was made by cutting down original lower hull and steam engines of the scuttled USS Merrimack. It was 4,100 tons and able to hold 300 trading men. Meanwhile, the Union had completed 7 ironclad gunboats of the City class and was about to complete the USS Monitor, an innovative design proposed by the Swedish inventor John Ericsson. USS Monitor was 1,003 tons and was able to hold 59 men. It was constructed by innovative techniques, including the first 360-degree rotating armored gun turret on an operational warship, and the hull was completely underwater and was protected by an overhanging armored deck and armored belt. The Union was also building a large armored frigate, the USS New Ironsides, and the iron screw steamer USS Galena. The Battle of Hampton Roads ended as a victory of the Union. In early 1863, Lincoln's administration decided to attack the Charleston harbor to raise the national spirit and substantiate the Republican Party. Lincoln's administration chose the Charleston harbor as a target because of its symbolic worth rather than its strategic importance. The Navy Department sent some USS New Ironsides, which were improved version of the original version of USS Monitor, and an experimental armored gunboat, Keokuk. And they were commanded by Samuel Francis Dupont, who gained good reputation by the victory in Battle of Port Royal. Minesweeper was also invented by the person John Ericsson, who designed the Monitor since Samuel Dupont was seriously concerned about torpedoes. However, his obsession with mines caused him to lose the Battle of Charleston. On October 1863, the Confederacy showed one of its secret weapons, CSS David, by attacking USS New Ironsides at Charleston Harbor. CSS David is a semi-submersible torpedo boat. It was designed to destroy enemy ships by stealthily sneaking up to their sides and placing a spar torpedo. Spar torpedo is a weapon consisting of a boom placed at the end of a long pole or spar and attached to a boat. At about 9 p.m. on 5th of October, the torpedo boat confronted with the USS New Ironsides. Despite the effort of CSS David, the damage on the USS New Ironsides was superficial. David was severely damaged enough to be abandoned. The new Ironside just rejoined the blockade after taking a short time to repair. On the evening of 17th of February 1864, 4 months after the attack on the USS New Ironsides, the South again took out an ace, namely H.L. Hunley, in the deck. H.L. Hunley became first submarine to sink an enemy vessel called USS Housatonic at Charleston Harbor. H.L. Hunley became first submarine to sink an enemy vessel, namely USS Housatonic, at Charleston Harbor. H.L. Hunley quietly, closely approached the Union ship and used spark torpedoes to explode the ship. When the Union ship realized that the submarine was near it, it was too late to stop the explosion. The Union also possessed a submarine, namely Alligator, but hardly used during American Civil War. Alligator was the idea of French inventor Brutus de Villeroi, who constructed a prototype while in France and saw that this vaunted breakthrough was well publicized. He was called in by the Union Navy at the end of 1861, when they were eagerly searching for means of advantage in American Civil War. The vessel was a 47-foot iron submersible propelled by human-powered oars to be worked from inside the hull. As the Northern Navy was superior to the Southern Navy, the Union could benefit many things. The Union could not only separate the Confederacy into two by occupying Mississippi River with a low number of casualties compared to the Confederacy, but also pressure the South economically.
For a fight like you, bringing hell and purgatory to the boys who wore the blue. And I thought I'd seen it all, till the day night wouldn't fall. Oh, how the sun did blaze, wouldn't go down for days.